What's good? What's good? It's your boy Avatar Nino, and I'm here. I'm back with another ASGR. You done know. And today it's about League of Legends 2026. Yes, if you are as hyped as me, if you've already seen the video, you know why I'm doing this video. You already know. But I've only noted down the things that I think are important in it, genuinely, in terms of you can go watch the video and watch all the in-depth intricacies, but these are the key points that I think if you play League of Legends you should know about 2026. I'm going to put the video up in the background, but it's going to be muted because I'm just going to talk through the key points and you can just watch some of the gameplay. So let's get into this one right now. So obviously these guys have released a 21-minute video. You might want to go and watch that. You can see the title up here. Go give that a look because it tells you more in depth than what I'm about to tell you. I'm going to mute it and I'm just going to tell you the key points, right? So, in terms of League of Legends 2026, they're changing it so that sieging and split pushing is more viable. And the way they're doing this is by essentially removing some objectives because it was heavily objective focused. So they're removing Atacon, they're removing the Blood Roses, and they're also changing things to make it a lot more, like basically each player can carry the game. You can carry the game solo if you're good now, is what they're trying to get at. And the way they've done that is by basically giving you these quests as for each role. So jungle and support already had quests which allow them to upgrade certain things like that. I think it was your jungle monster and things like that. And support obviously your wards. But now top also has quests that if they achieve them, then they get an extra spell, which is TP. I think it's always going to be TP, so it's best that you don't take TP, so then you'll have free spells. However, if you do take TP, they basically buff the TP so that when you TP, you get a shield when you land wherever you decide to TP to. And you've got mid lane who get basically they get feats. So they've taken feats out the game, but mid lane you get the level 3 boots upon completing your quest. And then bot lane you get an extra slot, so you can get an extra item basically. And there's things on top of that. So if I just go back to top lane, you get bonus XP, and in mid lane you get faster recall, and in bot lane you get extra gold for like minions killed, champions killed, and things like that. So for me, I think the weak link there is the mid lane. I think bot lane will be able to scale quite well late in the game. I think and top lane also get to go to level 19. So there's no level 18 cap for them, they get to go to level 19. Now jungle and bot also got a little bit of a buff, but obviously it's not brand new for them, so they only made it quite small, which is jungle get bonus movement speed around the jungle and bonus XP and gold for large monsters killed. You get in support you get a little bit more gold over time, and you also get a special slot for wards, so you don't have to take up a slot with wards anymore. In particular control wards. So I think that's really good for support, because I play support sometimes and I find sometimes you obviously have to buy control wards, but you really want to have an item there, but you need to not have an item so you can have a control ward. Whereas now having that extra slot just for control wards, it means you can buy an extra item quite quickly. And then they've also done other things now. So obviously we're removing Atacon and the Blood Roses. Baron will now spawn at 20 minutes, so they're trying to make the games, I think they're going to make the games a bit faster, because I think even at the beginning of the games, you've got minions and jungle camps spawning 35 seconds faster, and later on in the game, minions are going to spawn faster, which will allow ADCs to get a lot more gold, because they're getting more gold for minions that they kill, right, if they complete their quests. Also, those quests, you complete them faster if you do them in your lane. So if you do them in the lane that you're assigned to in Champ Select, you will do them faster. So if you want to swap lanes, do it in Champ Select. However, I think that could be a bit bad, depending on how quick the quests are, because that might make people just stay in their lane for way too long, not rotate as much to help get ganks off and things like that. I don't know, but it just feels like that could be the thing that stops it being good, in my opinion. And there's other things around the map that they're adding in, which is basically these ward spots to show people how to ward and help them learn warding. Basically, these spots, they're called Phaelites. They give you bonus vision temporarily if you place the wards in these positions, which means people are actually going to be placing wards exactly where you expect them, rather than people place, well, for some parts of the game, it depends how long they do it, but it's going to allow people to know essentially where your wards are, which I personally don't like, but I do understand it helps people learn to ward and creates temporary bonus vision. That temporary bonus vision is going to decide whether we use it more or we just ignore it at a higher level. Whereas personally, I wouldn't want it in there because I don't like to ward the generic spots that people ward. I like to ward in different places that people are not going to look, because it makes them waste their trinket, their red trinket and things like that. But hey ho. They've also added crystalline overgrowth. So over time, crystals will attract to a tower or build up on a tower over time. And when you attack that tower, you will consume those crystals, which makes you do bonus damage to that tower on hit. And depending on how much crystals are stacked, depends on how much damage you do when you consume them. So that's something new. So it's obviously, as I said, it's more about split pushing and sieging, it looks like. And then on top of that, turrets also now have plates. Every single turret has plates, and they do not go away. And I think this is a really good change, because these plates don't go away, but you don't get any extra gold for destroying the tower. So they split the tower gold that you get across the plates, which is good, because sometimes when you're taking a tower, you kind of feel like, let me just leave that because I might get ganked. So let me just leave it because the plates are gone. I'm not getting anything out of shooting it 3 or 4 times. I'm not going to get anything out of it. Whereas now it's going to force people to think, do you know what? I can actually just take this plate quickly and go constantly, no matter what tower it is. Which means you have to be really mindful of getting ganked, or you can catch people that are greedy. So it's going to be, I think it's good. It gives benefit of like doing a bit of damage to the tower before being, where some people just don't do any damage to the tower, forget about it because they're not going to get anything from it anyway, or whatever it may be. So I like that change. They've also added something called late game home guards, take you to your furthest push wave, which I also think is good. And also dragon. So dragons get stronger the closer you are, I believe, to completing or getting Dragon Soul. And when I say stronger, I mean they have more durability, so they are harder to kill. Now they say they're doing that because it makes it so that the team losing can get back into the game and things like that, potentially. However, I feel if the other ADC is just slapping with this new quest thing, you're not really gonna get back in the game, because you go to Drake and they're just going to punch you up, because they've probably been farming everything from your jungle on the way to Drake, from the minion. They've just got gold upon gold, and they might even have that extra item that you don't have by that point. So I don't know how that is really going to help the team get back into the game that's losing, but we'll see when it comes out. And I think the only last changes that I'll talk about here are the items. So they said they added in like 9 more items. One, they're bringing back Hextech Gunblade, which I love. I did play Akali very religiously, so bringing that back. And Kennen, so it might bring back the AD AP hybrid Kennen, who knows. They're also adding in something called Scepter of Bonkin, which gives AP fighters double on hit effects, and Blood Sphere, which gives Omni Vamp and AD ability haste. So it's for AD champions, so they now got Omni Vamp. And another one called Snowball for ADCs, which gives you extra range on takedown, and also you get damage amp based on how far away you are when you're attacking your opponent. So the further you are, the more damage amp you have. And they're also increasing crit to 200%. I think that this game in 2026, ADC is going to be the most important role. I think you're going to have to protect that person with your life. They're going to be able to do so much damage. And the top laner, I think they're bringing back tank top, ADC matters, mid laners. You're kind of there for utility. I think control mage is going to be the main thing used in mid lane next season, because I mean, you get feats. That's your bonus. And faster recall. Whereas everyone else is getting damage and levels and bonus XP. I think top laners with their quest, they also get bonus XP. Yeah, I said that already. They do get bonus XP, which means they're going to level up faster, and just, just get mad strong throughout the game. ADC items, a whole extra item. So you can have 6 legendary items as an ADC in this game. I think they're going to be just, if you have the right team comp, I think it's going to be tank top, protect your ADC, control mage and mid. Like, imagine if I'm just playing Lissandra. What am I going to do? Stun you, R you, do whatever, and my ADC is going to pop you if they're a good ADC and they're actually thriving in the matchup. So yeah, I think it's going to be a really, really, really good season. And I personally like most of the changes. I think it's going to be a really good change because, as I said, it allows people to solo carry if you're good, potentially from all lanes. And, it just means that people should be less reliant or less, they shouldn't moan at their team as much. It should be less toxic because you should know that you can do the job on your own. That's if it works out the way that we're thinking, right? And I think the last thing that I want to mention here is the autofill. So the autofill situation, people just usually leave. And they've changed it so that if you are autofilled and you get a rating of C or above, if you lose, you do not lose any LP. None whatsoever. But if you win, you get double XP. So if you're autofilled, you need to stay in the game. To be fair, they're making it so that you have to stay in the game. Because what they did say is if you leave when you're autofilled, when you join back the queue, you will be autofilled again. So, they're just making it so that the queue times are less long. People aren't quitting as much. And then on top of that, if you are autofilled, they're trying to make it so that if you're autofilled, you'll be playing against an autofilled person that's in the exact same role as you. And also, if you quit while you're autofilled, as I said, you'll just be lumped back into the queue. So that's the main changes for League of Legends 2026. Look, I can't wait to test it out. I do think all these changes will be beneficial for the game. I honestly think that, I would expect that all ADCs or people that used to main ADCs will go back to playing ADCs, because a lot of them were saying that the role's been killed. The role is now over. Whereas what I'm seeing here is it looks very much like they're bringing it back alive. So I can't wait to play it. Let me know what you think in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell to come back for more ASGRs. Peace.